Hope you're enjoying your Tuesday afternoon with us here on racing.com. Continuing with our breeding theme this afternoon, and joining us from Twin Hills Stud is Olly Tait. Olly, great to catch up with you.
Thanks.
Now, Olly, talking about Twin Hills Stud, hopefully, I know technology is not the easiest thing, particularly in these times where everyone's using the internet working from home, but just tell us about Twin Hills Stud and about the history, because it does have such a rich history.
Yeah, so Twin Hills is situated at Cootamundra, which is in southern New South Wales in the Riverina, and it was originally set up by Mike Willesee in the 80s, and he did an incredible job at building the infrastructure and filled it up with great horses. Snippet stood here, Sadappa, a Golden Slipper winner, stood here, Rubiton stood here. So Mike Willesee really got it going before he then sold it on to the Ingham brothers, who ran it in as Woodlands Cootamundra in parallel with their stud in the Hunter Valley. And then it was then sold to Darley as part of their sale of bloodstock assets to Darley in 2008. So, look, it's got a great history. It's been owned by some giants of the turf, and my wife Amber and I were lucky enough to buy it in 2017.
OK, so 4 years on, let's talk about some of the stallions that you're standing at Twin Hills Stud, and starting off with a newcomer to the scene. It's Peltzer. We know how good he was and how speedy he was too.
Yeah, he's been by So You Think. He's a very interesting horse because he did have speed, and by a stallion who isn't necessarily known for that. You know, obviously So You Think's usually get over a bit of ground. But look, terrific horse. Won 6 races as a 2 and a 3-year-old, which not many stallions who go to stud win that number of races. He's a Group 2 winner, a Group 2 winner, a Group 3 winner, and also won the $1 Million Bondi this year. But he's I suppose the most striking thing about him is he's just a beautiful horse. He's just the most magnificent looking horse. And you know, we were really lucky to get him and be able to stand him this year for the first time.
What about a horse like Hallowed Crown? Again, another really talented race horse, and has also proven himself in the breeding barn already. He, of course, is a sire of a horse called Colette, who we know how good she was, what she was able to do last autumn and last spring.
Yeah, that's right. So Hallowed Crown was raced by Eduardo Coanco and went to stud at Darley, and then we picked him up last year. And look, our timing we were very fortunate with our timing, in that Colette came through the Adrian Knox and won the ATC Oaks in devastating fashion. She's a horse with incredible talent and went on to win it at weight for age as a 4-year-old. But I think he's a horse who can get some really classy runners. Colette, he's got had a very good mare with John O'Shea called Lillamore, and a horse called Big Hearted, who was the winner of the Singapore Gold Cup. So with limited numbers of runners, he's done really well. And you know, you look at the sire lists for his crop of sires, which includes Deep Field. He stacks up very well and is a stallion that doesn't stand at a very large fee.
On to Smart Missile. He had a terrific season last season at stud. He just continues to produce winners.
Yeah, I suppose he has a terrific season at stud every season. He's a really good stallion. Has covered large numbers of mares, gets a huge number of winners, is perennially in the top 10 in terms of the number of winners he gets in Australia. And on the other metrics, in terms of stakes winners and in terms of prize money earned, he's really in the upper echelons of stallions in Australia. So, look, it was a really good day for our business the day he walked in the gate. It was very important for us. I'll be forever grateful for what Smart Missiles provided us. But he's got a long way to go. He continues to be a very good stallion. Had a stakes winner last week, had a stakes winner the week before that. And he's got a huge crop of 2-year-olds about to race. So I think we've got a lot to look forward to with him.
One horse, Ollie, Nick Ashman here, that I've very grateful to have seen in my time in racing is Tyler Knott. 4 Chipping Nortons, 2 Sydney Cups and a host of other major races right around the Australian calendar. He really was an absolute star in your colours, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was amazing. He was an incredible horse. He started 61 times, I think, and all but about the first 2 starts, you thought he was going to win every time. It was just extraordinary. He was bred by my father and his sister. And look, he was just, once in a lifetime horse. Won 13 Group 1s, won group races from 1,200 metres to 3,200 metres. And he was just outstanding. Obviously, didn't go as well in Melbourne as he did in Sydney, but was still second in a Cox Plate, third in the Caulfield Cup, and very unlucky in a Melbourne Cup. So, look, really lucky to have very lucky to have been involved with a horse as good as him.
We just had a meeting at the Valley on the weekend. We don't have any footage of Spinning Hill, but she was a cracking daughter of Dolphin Street back in the day who had a real good affinity for the Valley, didn't she?
Yeah, she was an outstanding sprinter, 3-time Group 1 winner, loved Moonee Valley, and just could accelerate off a hot speed. And she was brilliant. It was trained by Guy Walter, was racing at the same time as Tie the Knot, so we had a bit of a purple patch there. But a really special mare who had an amazing amount of talent.
And as far as this spring is concerned, Ollie, you've got Cherry Tortoni running this Saturday? That's
right, yeah. Cherry Tortoni, owned and bred by my dad and his sister again, like Tie the Knot, and he's out of a sister to Tie the Knot. He's a high-class racehorse. He's threatened to win a Group 1 really since he got going. He was only narrowly beaten in the Guineas in the Australian Guineas at Flemington in the autumn. I think he'll probably be kept to around a mile this time in. We'll see how he goes. But he steps out at 1,400 on Saturday at Flemington with a view to going to the Toorak Handicap about a month after that. So fingers crossed he'll run well.
OK, well, the best of luck for him, and it's been terrific to have a chat, go back down memory lane and also to talk about how things are at Twin Hills Stud. All the best of luck for the breeding season too, Ollie.
Thank you very much.
Thanks to Olly Tait joining us as we go through the breeders this season and what they've got to look forward to in 2021-2022. Time for a break. More action from Pakenham on the other side of this.